right, so today we're diving into Raphael Montes' Jantar Secreto.
Okay.
And this novel, Secret Dinner, for those of us who haven't quite mastered Portuguese yet,
Right.
this novel is a wild ride, I have to say.
It is.
It's a blend of thriller, social commentary,
Yeah.
and honestly, just a touch of the macabre.
Right?
You know, I was really captivated by Montes' writing style. It's sharp, suspenseful, and he really knows how to get under your skin.
Yeah.
What were your kind of initial thoughts on his approach to storytelling?
Well, I think what really struck me was Montes's ability to create this air of unease right from the start. You're introduced to these seemingly ordinary characters,
Right.
each with their own aspirations and secrets, but there's this underlying tension,
Right.
a sense that something is deeply, unsettlingly off.
Yeah.
It's like watching a perfectly calm surface of a lake, knowing there's something massive lurking beneath.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And he does this by weaving together these different timelines and perspectives. So you're piecing together the story alongside the characters,
Yeah.
which adds this whole other layer of suspense.
It does.
Did you find yourself constantly, like, second-guessing what was real, what was imagined,
Oh, absolutely.
who to trust?
Yeah.
Because I know I was.
Yeah, the nonlinear structure really keeps you on your toes.
Right.
Just when you think you've grasped the reality of the situation, Montes throws in a flashback or a new perspective that completely reframes everything you thought you knew.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant technique for building suspense and keeping the reader engaged.
It reminded me of a puzzle box, honestly.
Okay.
Each piece seems like ordinary on its own, but then you start putting them together and you realize they form this much darker, more disturbing picture.
Yeah.
And speaking of disturbing, let's talk about those characters for a second.
Okay.
Montes had this uncanny ability to make you understand, even empathize with,
Yeah.
characters who are making morally reprehensible choices.
Right.
How does he do that?
Well, that's the mark of a skilled writer, wouldn't you say? To evoke empathy for characters who are, for all intents and purposes, deeply flawed.
Yeah.
Take Dante, for example. He's our entry point into this world.
Right.
And while he's complicit in the horrors that unfold, you still find yourself rooting for him, hoping he'll somehow find his way out of the darkness.
Yeah, it's like that quote, everyone is a hero in their own story, right?
Right.
Even if their story is as messed up as this one.
Exactly.
What do you think Montes is trying to say with these complex, morally ambiguous characters?
It's a fascinating question, and I don't think there's a simple answer.
Right.
I don't think Montes is interested in easy answers or clear-cut heroes and villains.
Yeah.
He presents these characters in all their complexity, their desires, their justifications, and forces us as readers to confront the gray areas of morality.
Yeah.
It makes you question, how far would any of us go if pushed to our limits?
Right. Yeah.
What compromises would we be willing to make?
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, it definitely makes you think.
It does.
And it's not just Dante, right?
Right.
Each character in Jantar Secreto is grappling with their own internal struggles, their past traumas,
Absolutely.
and these conflicting desires that ultimately lead them down this incredibly dark path.
Yeah, and, take Miguel, for instance.
Yeah.
Here's a doctor, someone who has dedicated his life to healing others.
Right.
Yet he finds himself caught up in this gruesome scheme.
Totally.
It's like Montes is exploring the idea that even those with the most noble intentions can be corrupted, especially when they're driven by desperation or a misplaced sense of loyalty.
Yeah, you totally get this sense that Miguel is constantly battling with his conscience, trying to rationalize his involvement, telling himself it's for the greater good.
Right.
But, deep down, he's disgusted by what they're doing.
He knows.
It's a testament to Montes's ability to create these morally complex characters, that we can still empathize with Miguel, even as we recoil from his actions.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can't forget Laiton.
Right.
He's the epitome of moral ambiguity.
He is.
This master manipulator who seems to just exist in the shadows.
Yeah.
Yet even with him, Montes gives us these glimpses of vulnerability.
Okay.
These moments that hint at a troubled past.
Yeah.
And a capacity for genuine affection, however twisted it may seem.
His obsession with Cora, for example.
Exactly.
It's disturbing on so many levels.
Yeah.
But there's this strange tenderness there, this need for connection that feels almost human.
Right.
Amidst all the darkness.
It's that humanity that makes all the difference. And that's what makes Montes' characters so compelling.
Yeah.
They're not just one-dimensional villains, right?
Yeah.
They're multifaceted individuals, shaped by their experiences, driven by their desires, and capable of both great love and unimaginable cruelty.
Yeah. It's like Montes is holding up a mirror to humanity in a way, showing us that the line between good and evil is often blurred. That even the most monstrous acts can be born out of this complex web of motivations.
Yeah.
It's enough to make you question your own moral compass.
Yeah, indeed. And he doesn't let the reader off the hook either.
Right.
Montes forces us to confront the darkness that exists within ourselves.
Yeah.
To ask ourselves those uncomfortable questions.
Right.
What compromises would we make? Where would we draw the line?
It's a thrilling,
it is,
albeit unsettling reading experience.
It really is.
Speaking of unsettling, let's talk about the atmosphere Montes creates in this novel.
Okay.
It's palpable, this sense of dread and unease that just permeates every page.
Yeah.
How does he achieve that so effectively?
Well, it's a combination of factors.
Okay.
His writing style is incredibly evocative. He uses these vivid images and sensory details to create this visceral experience for the reader.
Right.
You can practically smell the rich aromas coming from the kitchen. Feel the tension in the air as the diners savor each bite.
Oh, totally.
Oblivious to the horrific truth behind their meals.
It's like he's tapping into our primal fears.
Yes.
Our anxieties about what we consume, who we trust, and the hidden truths lurking beneath the surface of everyday life.
And the setting itself plays a crucial role as well.
Right.
The opulent dinners, the luxurious apartments, the seedy underbelly of the city, they all contribute to this atmosphere of decadence and decay.
Totally.
This world where morality is fluid.
Yeah.
And the pursuit of pleasure knows no bounds.
It's a world that feels both familiar and deeply unsettling at the same time.
It is.
Like a reminder that darkness can lurk in the most unexpected places.
Yeah.
Even amidst, the trappings of wealth and privilege.
Absolutely.
And then there's that whole slow burn reveal of the secret ingredient.
Yeah.
I have to admit, Montes had me completely fooled for a while.
He did.
I did not see it coming.
It's masterful, the way he just dangles that mystery in front of you, dropping those subtle hints, red herrings.
Yeah.
It's masterful manipulation.
Yeah.
You're so caught up in the characters and their dynamics that you almost forget about the gruesome reality of what's being served.
Of what's actually on those plates.
Right.
And when the truth finally hits, it's like a punch to the gut.
It is.
I actually had to put the book down for a minute. Just to process.
I can imagine.
It's one thing to suspect something is off.
Yeah.
But to have it confirmed in such a stark, horrifying way.
Right.
It's a whole other level of unsettling.
It really is. It's a testament to Montes' skill as a writer, though.
It is.
That he can make you care about these characters, even root for them at times, right?
Totally.
While simultaneously leading you down this path of escalating horror and that final confrontation at the 100th dinner party.
Oh my gosh.
The culmination of all that tension, all those carefully woven threads of betrayal and desperation.
Talk about a powder keg waiting to explode, right?
I know, right?
You have all the key players gathered in one room.
Yeah.
The air is thick with secrets and lies. And then boom, it all comes crashing down.
Yeah.
What'd you make of that ending? How'd you feel about that?
I found it incredibly effective. If not a little bit messy.
Okay.
It's like watching a house of cards collapse in on itself.
Yeah.
You have Dante finally realizing the full extent of his complicity.
Right.
Caught in the crosshairs as the guests succumb to the poisoned meat.
Yeah.
It's chaotic, it's tragic,
it is.
Strangely satisfying all at the same time.
It is. There's this sense of inevitability.
Right.
Like this is the only way it could end.
It had to happen.
Yeah, exactly. But even with the arrests and the exposure of the operation, you're still left with this lingering unease, how much of this is really over? Cora disappears. Umberto's fate is left ambiguous.
Yeah.
And you get this sense that this dark underbelly of society will just find new ways to thrive.
Absolutely. And that's perhaps the most disturbing aspect of the entire novel.
Right.
Montes isn't just telling a story about a group of morally corrupt individuals.
Yeah.
He's holding up a mirror to society.
Right.
Exposing the systems of power, the unchecked greed,
right,
the willful ignorance that allows such horrors to flourish.
Yeah, it's a cautionary tale for sure.
It is.
This idea that the monsters in our midst are often more human than we'd like to admit. And that line between,
Right.
civilization and savagery
Yeah.
is terrifyingly thin.
It can be. It really can.
Montes certainly doesn't shy away from asking those tough questions.
He doesn't, no.
And he does it in a way that is both thrilling and thought-provoking.
Yeah, he really makes you think.
He does. So if you're looking for a book that will keep you on the edge of your seat, challenge your perceptions, and leave you with plenty to ponder long after you've turned that final page.
Absolutely.
And Jantar Secreto, definitely worth adding to your reading list.
I couldn't agree more. A masterclass in suspense, character development, and social commentary. A novel that will stay with you long after you've finished the last bite.
Well, this deep dive was quite the journey.
It was.
Until next time, keep exploring those dark corners of literature.
Yes.
You never know what unsettling truths you might uncover.